Greetings! Hello friends, settle down, make yourselves a beverage. Let's have a very relaxed, informal, chilled, kind of surface to deep dive on this here Amp Academy Stomp from Nu X. Big disclosure, I work with Nu X. I think they're really amazing people, super creative, very hardworking, and they love making really cool digital products. I've visited them, been to the manufacturing facility. I actually took my dad with me. It was really fun. And they were so lovely with my dad, looked after him so well. We dressed up in protective clothing and walked around the factory, and there's a whole video about that you can check out on my YouTube channel. So I know them quite well, and this is new. Now previously, I had been using a product called the Trident. And the Trident for me is tried and tested. Tried and tested. I've toured it, I've gigged it, I've taken it to all sorts of, you know, super posh clinic gig in a Scottish castle hotel with Robin Ford, Larry Carlton, and I've taken it to China and played a whole bunch of shows down Southeast Asia, and it never let me down. In fact, the only point I had a problem was my feet are really quite, I have stupid, massive feet. And I would step on two buttons rather than one. So they fixed that by giving me these little Chappers, these things that you can stick on top of the switches. That made it a bit easier for my stupid size 12 feet. But anyway, this is the new thing, the Amp Academy Stomp. And it sounds phenomenal. I haven't yet gigged it. So for me, it's not tried and tested, but I have played it quite a lot here. And I've also taken it to the studio and recorded with it, and it sounds phenomenal. It's literally had an update yesterday. So although this is a new product and it's released, there are changes taking place all the time, and they're quite big changes. By the way, what I'm going to do is just clap in a secondary B cam. So here's the B cam. This is how it looks. It's really quite WYSIWYG, if you will. If you've got digital products already, you'll almost certainly be able to navigate your way through the way that it functions. It's really simple. I've got this set up in scenes so that my first button is like more of a cleany, you know, I don't really use a clean, but a borderline crunch, very clean. This is quite firmly a crunch, and then my third switch is definitely a lead tonality. You'll notice here I've got this little Bluetooth device. Now, you don't need that. I have it, and what it does is it would allow me to connect this to my laptop, which you can't see, it's off screen. And there's a really good app. You can change everything on the laptop, and it's just a little bit less pushing buttons and scrolling through menus because you can see it all in front of you, and it's very, very, very simple. This is not a complicated piece of gear. I don't like complicated pieces of gear. I'm just a band guitarist, you know, so I need things to be simple, especially because I sing. I don't want loads of crap on the floor. It just annoys me, and it gets in the way of my job of, you know, making the band sound good. So anyway, what is it? It says on the box, Amp Academy Stomp. I have two of them, by the way. It is a TSAC 4K physical modeling algorithm with separated preamp, power amp combinations. Listen, I'm a big fan of not using jargon and BS. What is it? It's an incredible amp modeler, but they've just enabled NAM, neural amp modeling, for this as well. White box modeling, where every part of the component chain is modeled. So in every single bit, and you're very familiar with this term probably by now, what this can do is, for example, you can choose to change the valves, you can choose to change lots of different parts of the preamp. I just want to play you some, and then we'll go through and change some of the models, and I'll show you how to edit and all that kind of crap, and it gets a bit more sort of in depth, if you will. So it's got user patches and it's got the presets. Presets are pretty good. Some of them are a bit like, I'd never use that, but it's fun. Do you know what I mean? It's very easy to take a preset and tweak it to make it something that you would like. So what I wanted to show you is the JCM 800. I'm very familiar with that amplifier, both the modeled version and the real version. So this is the standard patch they give you of a JCM 800. If you will, that's kind of the clean. So, you know, using scenes, I'll step it into the crunch territory. By the way, I'm using a prototype ML3, when it was called ML3, hot rod, with just one pickup configuration that I'm not going to change the pickups so that you can hear the differences in the patches without me changing tones all the time. Because if you change tones all the time, you get kind of hearing fatigue and it's a bit annoying. So that was the rhythm. Here's the lead they've created. Pretty good. So what I did is I took that, stole its ass, tweaked a bunch of bits, and if I go to user patch, I should probably show you this on GandyCam, as Lee and I cunningly named it. Gandy, enable Gandy, so that I'm changing through all the different presets. If I go to F, these are the regular patches. If I take it to U, these are the user patches. So this is my Chappers 800. You can see I've named it Chappers, just in case I forget my name or whatever. If I wanted to edit this, I just press the edit button. I can then change different elements. I can scroll through them with this, and I can press it to remove or add. Not that you'd want to, you know, remove the amp. That would be a silly idea. But of course you could do if you'd like to. And within this amp model, I can scroll through lots of options to tweak. So that I've got the valves there, the different EQs and things, the inputs. Because this is the clean channel, I'm using input 2. If I swap over to the rhythm, you'll see I'm using input 1 with my giant finger. There it is. And I've also added this here, what is it? I can't read it. It's a gain pedal. Oh, it's a boost. Oh, it's an RC boost, not Rob Chapman, just RC boost. If I want to get out of this, I just press the up button. There it is, easy. If I can do it, I promise you that you can do it. So here's my version of that 800 patch. So I've really chilled out the clean. It's a good sounding sort of, it's a clean, but it's a push. Important to say, these are band sounds, not bedroom sounds. There's a big difference. And if you play in a band or you record, you'll know what I'm talking about. Here's my crunch setting. is my lead setting. Probably put a bit too much delay on that, but I really like it, and it sits great in a band mix. So I just told you that New X and its New X have recently incorporated NAM modeling. I don't know a lot about NAM modeling, I just know the surface information, neural amp modeling. It's a site or an app, and you can go there and download user-created neural models, and you can put them on this. I know that they sound really good because I've used a few in recording just with my laptop through Logic. I know they're really good. And what I love is that NewX is saying, no, it's fine. We open it up, open up the physical platform, let people put on their user-created parts. Obviously, you can put impulse responses, speakers, that kind of thing as well. I think it's really good. But they've also added some black box modeled profiles I don't know enough about yet, but they've just added 3 new models, and one of them is this, it's a fireman amp, and it sounds great. So this is what I've created. I really like that, man. It's got something to it that I very much enjoy. Let's just go. So I made a bunch of patches for the launch, and I'll just show you these. Maybe you like them, maybe you don't. I'm not offended. Either way, I promise. So I've got the RC Sun Fire stack. What did I do here? I'm trying to remember now. Press this. Oh, so it's a JCM. Is it an 800? Yeah, it's a Brit 800. I did this with the EQ. I'm surprised I went for EL34s. I thought I would have used 6L6s. And then that's my rhythm, and then that's my lead. You can see I've added delays and all sorts of juicy bits there. If I scroll across to this delay, I've chosen that one. Of course, there are lots of different delays if you wanted to change the kind of delay that you want, but I don't. You can change everything. So it's really, oh, by the way, and the knobs correspond to whichever aspect you wanted to change. So if I press this to edit and then go along to, for example, the amplifier, well, if I turn this knob, you can see it changes the master volume, and then of course this will be the gain, yeah? And if I just do R, returns it to where it was, and then back up. So that's my simple guide to how to use the editing on the pedal. You can edit on the fly. It becomes simpler, and you can save. For example, if I create a patch in scene 1, which I've put on foot switch 1, because you can choose to have this set up in presets or scenes, you can copy that exact preset, patch, whatever you want to call it, into number 2, tweak it to make it rhythmy, copy that exactly into preset 3, and then you've got 3 within the scene based upon the original, so that you're not continually creating. You can go to copy and paste and then tweak it from there. Anyway, this is the RC Sunfire stack. That was the clean. I don't use the clean. That's great. I love that. And here is the lead stepping in, the tube screamer, some delay. I was thinking about adding compression, but I don't really use compression that much. Oh, what did I do? I need to go in and change that. Ah, so what I've done by accident is I changed the input to input 2 rather than input 1. So now that I save that again, my lead. So yeah, you can make silly mistakes like that. I changed the amplifier, and then rather than using input 1, I'd used input 2 on the profile, made a big difference. Not only can you change the valves, the cabinet, you can change the microphones. Everything is modeled, it shows you the waveform. You can adjust the EQ at the beginning, you can adjust the EQ at the end. It's insane what you can do. I've got one called RC Ambient Dret. I can't remember what Dret stood for, probably Dread. And it sounds like this. Just a bit of fun. Oh, I've got Catalyst Drive. This was an interesting exercise. When we recorded with Dorje, we would have 6 guitars, a clean, almost a clean, a DSAT, and then a crunch. So I modelled my version of what I did, the clean, the DSAT, and like the crunch, and then the heavy. So here is... Here's the crunch. And then here's the saturated. That was a fun exercise. Let's go to a bluesier kind of vibe, something that might be more befitting my buddy Pete, Lee, me sometimes, depending on what I'm doing. Again, I'm in scenes, so I've got 3 kinds of setting, and it's roomy, it's got that room verb on it. It's a nice, really nice sounding patch. Let me take you through what we've created here. If I press edit, the amp here is a deluxe reverb. We've got a 3-band EQ attached. That's the cabinetry we have. You've got left and right cabs, and you can have a different cab on one side from the other, depending on whether you're running a stereo or a mono rig. And then there's a delay, it's a tape echo delay. Now I don't really want that, so I've removed it. And then if I go to, there's the routing, the reverb, we've got a bit of verb there, classic hall verb. So if I take it to scene 2, it's the same, but it's got the classic tube screamer on it. And if I go to scene 3, well, nothing much has changed, because originally it had delay on it, and then I just went, I don't want delay on my lead bluesy tone. But we could go into editing, and for our lead setting, just, where are we? No, that's good. Crankage a bit more, delay gain. And then to save that, I just press and hold. And then I'm going to choose the scene. So I could choose scene 3, but I could change that scene to be 1, 2, or 3. Press and hold it, saves. Done. So now, this is the clean. wait, I've got a tune. That's a good opportunity. Opportune. See, this is why I am a father. It's a good opportunity to show you where things are. If I press and hold the home button, I like that it has a big colour screen. There's the tuner. But there are other things, factory settings. I don't know what that does, I can't remember. The display, you can change how bright, how much colour, all that kind of thing, which is quite nice if you're visually impaired like I am. I don't know what that is. MIDI, old technology. Something, USB, the levels contained within, the global EQ, which is interesting, and the way the foot switch works. So I've got mine set up in scenes, but you could have it as like stomp boxes or as presets, and I don't want to do any of that. So at the moment, let's go to, that's the looper, the tuner. There it is. Looks like a tuner that you know and love, probably by NuX. Okay, so we're at the JL Blues pack, user number 3. Here is the crunch version. Which I can roll off. Cleans up because it's that sensitive. And then for lead. Man, it sounds good. It really does. What I've discovered with these kinds of products is it's really a lot more down to the user. And I find I have about a half an hour window where I can really hear things, and then after that, nothing that I'm doing is accurate, in any way measured, or in any way correct, and I stop. And I'm not kidding. You get, like, listening fatigue is what you get. You lose the ability to judge if something sounds good. And often I'll create a preset for something. Like I made a preset on my Trident called Chappers Clinic, which was for all my bleed the light type stuff. You know, it was this kind of, where are we? Sort of... kind of shreddery. And I must have gone back to that and tweaked it and tweaked it and tweaked it and tweaked it until I got it to the point that I just loved it. Didn't need to ever change it. It's a bit like a Floyd Rose trem, where when you get it right, and it takes you a few weeks to just tweak a little bit, the screwdriver a little bit. When you get it right, it's brilliant. It's the learning as you go and tweaking it until you like it that takes the time. But when you get there, you are rewarded. By the way, this whole demo, you've been hearing the audio direct into my laptop running Logic. I'm hearing it through an Atomic CLR FR cab on the floor over here, because I patched it to output to the FR cab. That's it. I highly recommend you go and check one out, and I don't think you'll believe the price. I didn't. It's insane. Absolutely insane what you can get now from companies like NuX, who are innovating in this field, because they are a really highly educated company with a lot of really clever sciencey people and engineers working behind the scenes. And you have no idea what's coming. It's gonna destroy ears and melt faces. Anyway, I hope this was useful. Have a great day. Take it easy. Chappers out.